Busy morning in the Bay Area. 2 people dead in a house fire. A third makes it out alive. We have a live report from the scene coming up.
Plus, a deputy and a canine shot in the line of duty. We'll tell you how they're doing this morning and what we are learning about the shooter.
Get your day started the right way with Good Day Tampa Bay.
Hey everybody, 8 o'clock. I'm Russell Rhodes.
And I'm Laura Moody. Good morning, everybody. The sun is coming up. It is beautiful out there. Dave Osterberg's here now with your forecast.
Okay, I'm going to warn you right now. I couldn't do it. There we go. Look at this. How bright this is. It's beautiful. Not to mention, we still have those coolish temperatures in the morning. We're still hanging on to those a little bit. So I got a north-northeast wind at 6 miles per hour. 59 degrees, the current temperature at Tampa International. I got lower 50s in Brooksville to Crystal River. Bartow, you've already touched 61 degrees. Bradenton, back to 60 in Clearwater at 61. Easily getting back up to about 79, 80, 81 for a high temperature this afternoon. Lots of sunshine, that lovely afternoon warmth. And yes, it will continue through the weekend. Those details soon.
All right, good to hear. Dave, thanks. We'll see you in a couple minutes. At 8:01, we want to check in with some of our slower spots. We're seeing a few incidents causing those delays. We'll start with this vehicle fire, which has cleared out of the left travel lane in the northbound direction of 275 headed towards the Skyway Bridge. This is around US 19, but we still have some of those emergency crews we're seeing in that right travel lane. So big backup that we're checking out in the area. As we look at the drive times and the length of the backups, we can see now we're all the way back fully here to US 41 and clocking in with a 34-minute drive coming from that southern apex there, and heading up to Pinellas Point Drive. So make sure you're leaving and steering clear if you can easily do so. The other issue we're watching is a slowdown on I-75 out by State Road 70. This is from an earlier crash, which you'll notice is cleared out, but still waiting for some of the delays to clear out too. The backups are going to be pretty much towards State Road 64, and then a little lull backing up a little bit more towards US 301. From 275 to Clark Road, we've got a 28-minute drive. We're also watching this backup eastbound on State Road 70 at Natalie Way. There's some blockage going on at that crash site. And then something new we're seeing on the Veterans Expressway southbound after Waters, a crash with right lane blockage, and it looks like it is backed up beyond Linebaugh Avenue, guys.
Vanessa, thank you. It is 8:02 now. We're following this news alert out of Polk County this morning. Investigators make a deadly discovery after a mobile home goes up in flames.
Now, this happened a few hours ago. It's in the 4600 block of Fighter Road. That's in Bartow. And Mariah is on the story for us. I know we heard from the sheriff a few minutes ago. What do we know at this point?
So we are learning a little bit more about the victims that did pass away as a result of this fire. Really a terrible wake-up call for the people living in this Bartow neighborhood. So deputies still on scene of this fire here, just past the gate. That is where the mobile home was that caught fire early this morning. So as you mentioned, Sheriff Judd gave us an update on the scene about a half hour ago. He did not publicly name the victims, but he did share their ages with us. The man in his early 80s and the woman in her late 70s. Both were killed when the mobile home caught fire. So the first call to 911 came around 3:45 this morning from a neighbor. We did learn that one person did escape. Sheriff Judd said he woke up to a fiery scene. That person was on scene here being interviewed by deputies. We did not get a chance to speak with him, though. Sheriff Judd did kind of sum up what he told investigators. Take a listen.
Thud or a noise that woke him up. When he woke up, he saw that his room was consumed with smoke, and he ran out of the mobile home.
He banged on my window. I jumped up. He told me the mobile home's on fire. I'm like, oh my God. I jumped up and ran out there, and I called 911 also at 3:47 a.m. in the morning. And the only thing I could think of is, oh my God, I wanted to run in and get him out, and I couldn't. It was already burning up. It was already gone.
So the woman that you just heard from, she is a neighbor. She lives just feet away from the home that burned down. She says she knew the couple very well, and it was her front door that 50-year-old came to knock on to get some help for that couple. So as things stand right now, I did get a chance to speak with the PIO and the sheriff. They say, as things stand, this is a routine death investigation. Nothing here on scene yet to point to any foul play here. But of course, they are still investigating this, and we will report any and all updates as they come in.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Just about 8:05, and also new from overnight, crews are trying to figure out what sparked a massive fire at a paper plant. This is in Hillsborough County. Happened at the International Paper Company on North 53rd Street. Crews at the Hillsborough Fire Department say several pallets of paper products were on fire when they arrived. They got things under control pretty quickly, though. Nobody got hurt. And now to this developing story in St. Petersburg. A deputy and a canine officer, both recovering from gunshot wounds.
And the man accused of shooting them took his own life just moments later. Fox 13's Kelly Cowan has been following the story all morning long. Kelly, we know there are a lot of moving parts to this case. Several scenes they're working right now. What do we know at this point?
Exactly, and we're at one of those scenes right now. This is the scene where a deputy drove to after he was shot this morning by that suspect. Now, we had several city blocks around the Central Avenue district closed down overnight. Right now, we're on Central Avenue at 27th, and you can see behind me that several blocks are closed down through 27th, but they have reopened Central. I want to bring your attention to this black car that you see these investigators focusing on over here in this parking lot. That is the deputy's squad car, and that is the car that he was in when the suspect shot at him. Now, Sheriff Bob Gualtieri says this started as a traffic stop, but after the suspect handed his ID to the officer that had stopped him, the suspect then took off. Eventually, he ditched his vehicle nearby, only about a block away, and ran into a backyard. Now, an officer with a canine unit was able to track that suspect down, but when the canine officer went into the backyard, the suspect pulled a gun and shot the canine officer. From there, the suspect took off and ended up firing into the Pinellas County squad car, shooting Sergeant David Stang, who was at the wheel.
It's terrible, you just thank goodness that he's alive. These are always the calls that you dread. It's the worst case scenario, and the only thing that'd be worse is that if he was in worse shape. Just thank goodness that Sergeant Stang is alive, and it looks like he's going to be okay.
Sheriff Gualtieri said that Stang was shot twice in the shoulder. He is going to need surgery, but as you just heard, he is expected to be okay. Canine officer Titan was hit in the leg. He's in surgery this morning, but he too is expected to survive. A police spokeswoman explained that because he was on his lead at the time and in front of his partner, Officer Schoen, that may have saved the officer from being shot. Sheriff Gualtieri also explained that after shooting the canine officer and the deputy, the suspect then turned the gun on himself and took his own life. He's been identified as 23-year-old Elijah Johnson. Johnson has a lengthy rap sheet, including several drug offenses and grand theft auto charges. Sheriff Gualtieri says he has been recently released from prison. Gualtieri also pointed out that up to what they've been able to uncover so far this morning, as far as their investigation shows, none of the officers or the deputies that were on scene last night fired their own service weapons.
Okay. All right. Kelly Cowan, thank you.
And now we have an update on a separate shooting in St. Petersburg. Police have released this composite sketch of the man they say shot two people inside of a car, sending a BMW crashing into a tree. Violence unfolded on Wednesday in the Old Northeast neighborhood. One man was killed, another hurt, but is expected to survive. In St. Petersburg, police are searching for a driver caught on camera hitting a bicyclist, then taking off. Happened March the 7th at the intersection of 26th Avenue and 45th Street South. Cyclist is now recovering from some serious injuries.
And new this morning, police hope that this surveillance video will help them catch a car burglar in St. Pete. This particular case happened on March 25th. This was in the Coffee Pot Bayou area. Burglars stole several expensive pairs of sunglasses. Investigators believe he is also responsible for a few other recent burglaries. And detectives are looking for a man behind a violent robbery in Largo. Happened on March 4th, right outside a bar on 66th Street. But police just released this security footage. They say that the man, dressed in black, attacked the man in front of him, beating him and cutting him with a knife. If you have any information about any of these recent crimes, call Crime Stoppers.
Happening today, the John Chuck murder trial in Pinellas County enters its 5th day. The defense will continue laying out its insanity case. One of the first witnesses that they called Thursday was the family law attorney that John Chuck was working with prior to the death of his daughter Phoebe. And she discussed a scary encounter she and John Chuck had just 14 hours before the murder. She said he started calling himself God and was demanding she read him the Swedish Bible that he had been carrying around. The defense also called a pair of mental health experts. Both of them say They diagnosed John Chuck with schizoaffective disorder. Now, that's similar to schizophrenia, but can also include wild mood swings. Hillsborough County, the man arrested last week in connection with a deadly shooting in Tampa, due in court today. Kendrick James arguing for his right to be released on bond, charged with second-degree murder in the death of Tory Brown. James allegedly shot him on March 17th during an argument on 19th Street North. 8:10 still ahead. Another tricky scam to watch out for, especially if you plan to move anytime soon.
Why your change of address could be a prime target for identity thieves and how to protect yourself. Plus, many major markets are looking toward the future, and that includes the Bay Area. But not everybody is on board with this. We're going to discuss why so-called smart cities are facing backlash.
And then Charlie Belcher with us this morning. Hey, good morning.
Good day to you, Russell. I'm in St. Petersburg at Red Cloud. It's a gallery devoted to the works of Native American artists. And look at the works of Ira Lujan. This is beautiful. All of this is glass. Even though this piece over here, well, a lot of them look like it's ceramic pottery. It's not, it's glass. You will meet this artist in Good Day Tampa Bay.